Been a while since I looked at retro figures, but I just got the Phantom Menace retro set. I found my first set at a Target last week, and then they popped up for sale on the Target website this last weekend, so I went ahead and ordered another one. So I gotta have one to open and one to check out. Now you can see this guy's got a big old dent. This is one that showed up today, but I'm gonna be opening this one, so it's okay. The dent doesn't really bother me. So let's just take a look at the individual cards. Well, look at the box here. So Phantom Menace, right? Kind of like these box sets. Number one, you get the full set all at once. You don't have to chase them all down. Pretty nice. Let's look at the card. So here are our retro figures, and a lot of these, we've seen these card backs before because we've already got TVC versions of them. But we'll look through them. So we've got Qui-Gon here. We've got this card back already, but it's kind of funny. I wondered if maybe they do like TPL, Phantom Menace figures from 1999 as retro figures. I mean, they're retro. But now we still have kind of that 90s aesthetic here. Sorry, 80s aesthetic here. The lightsaber and everything. So keeping with that. The back is pretty much the same as what we would expect. Here's the Obi-Wan. Again, we've seen this card back before. Darth Maul. Look at the double-bladed lightsaber. We'll be checking that out in a minute. Battle Droid. Yeah, we've seen that card back before. Amidala. We have never had a vintage card of this Amidala. This is probably one of my favorite dresses of hers. I don't know why we don't get any more Padmes. It seems like those did pretty well. Maybe I'm off on that. They made so many Padmes back in 1999 with their high-end line and 12-inch for girls. I'll put in quotation line. I bought them all. And stuff like that. They did a lot of Padmes, and it seems like as the movies went on, they just didn't do as many anymore. And finally, Jar Jar here. Of course, we've had Jar Jar on card before. So let's take a look at them individually. Start here with Jar Jar. A pretty nice head sculpt. You know, in all the retros, we haven't had many aliens that they've done. So it's kind of nice to get that nice paintwork on him overall. The two-tone on the arms and the face and everything. It's pretty good all around. Basic articulation as you expect. He comes with the Battle Droid Blaster. They probably could have done like a Bomba or whatever the heck those things are called, but here we go. Pretty nice. There's Jar Jar. I know a lot of people don't like Jar Jar, but hey, we got a Jar Jar retro. Next, we have Darth Maul here, and honestly, I think we've had a few figures over the years that aren't too far off of this 5 POA idea and attention to detail, but I love this. This is a nice retro vintage idea. This is really cool. The double-bladed lightsaber right here. Never had the vintage style double-bladed lightsaber. Makes you wonder, if they'd done like 70s aesthetic and done the lightsaber out of the hand, how would you do a double-bladed out of the hand? You just mount the hilt in the hand and then you press out each way. I guess that would take a lot more engineering than what this is going to do. But all in all, it's a pretty cool figure. It's kind of nice to get. He's got the old-fashioned, you know, I think of like the Emperor and Bib Fortuna back in the day where the pants are just part of the legs and everything, or the robes, if you will. So there, we've got Darth Maul. Next, we have a Battle Droid, and notice how his arm is permanently bent there and a little tilted, too, to hold the blaster. You can put same blaster that came with Jar Jar there. And I'm wondering if this is a reuse of another mold, because I've had plenty of these blasters out there. But look at the backpack. The backpack is molded to the figure. It is not a separate piece, which, you know, vintage Star Wars, we never had separate backpacks. Like you look at Fett's Rocket Pack, and the head's just a straight up, you know, twisty, not even a ball joint, it looks like. It's an interesting pose to do with the Battle Droid. It is completely clean, very little paint on him. I guess for the wave, you save some money on the paint apps for this figure right here. Next, we have Qui-Gon, and he is the only one that comes with soft good robe here, which looks nice. It's a nice thick fabric. It seems pretty good on him. I don't know, if we put up his hood, will it look any good? It looks okay, not great, but... and, you know, because it's Qui-Gon, he's got all his hair. You can always tuck his hood in underneath his hair. I'm sure some of us did that back in 99, too. Nice details on him overall. Pretty decent-looking retro figure here. You know, if they hadn't done this as a 6-pack, I could see some of these as maybe being peg warmers. But if you want any of it, you got to buy the whole set. I think Hasbro might be onto something with that. But there we go. There's Qui-Gon. It's pretty cool with this vintage style lightsaber there. Next we have Obi-Wan. I think this is our third retro Obi-Wan figure because we got A New Hope Obi-Wan. We've got from Obi-Wan Kenobi the series, and now Phantom Menace Obi-Wan. Nice figure, very well done, good retro style. Kind of reminds me of the Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight, or even Farm Boy Luke with the way those are done. Although look, it's kind of hollow in there. I think it's maybe that. Oh, it's done that way so that he can sit, right? Looks like, oh yeah, it's not hollow. It's just the way the joint is cut. And of course, he comes with his blue lightsaber, blue vintage style lightsaber right there. Getting lots of these vintage style lightsabers. I remember when they were hard to come by, or many people went with fakes and stuff back in the day. But just to kind of wind it out. But does he have the Padawan braid? Oh yeah, he does. Okay, there we go. So it's just molded onto him though, so he can turn his head, but the Padawan braid stays, right? Okay, so there's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Last one here is Queen Amidala. And let's be honest, you don't need a lot of face paint and everything on her, because she had kind of that white clown makeup with just the dots and everything. I mean, the eyes could be a little bit better, but I mean, look at all the paint detail that went into the front thing and the crown and all that. I guess it's what you call it as a crown. This is the costume I want to see more of. I want to see this as Black Series. I want to see TVC. I also want to see the, when she addresses the Senate, see that TVC in Black Series. We don't have any of that. It's good to see this coming out. And of course, she has the pantsuit leg things here, like we've seen on the old vintage figures. She doesn't come with a weapon, but you notice her hand is made that she could hold one. Unlike some of our vintage figures that they, if they didn't hold a weapon, they just have flat hands like that right there. The head can turn a little bit, but with that big hair behind, it's not going to turn a lot. I think this is a fantastic figure, and honestly, you could probably put this in a diorama of any 3 3/4 inch, and it would still fit pretty well. I'm sure if they do an actual TVC version, it'll be even better. But fantastic figure. I love this retro wave. This is something I've hoped they were going to do for quite a while. Hopefully, we'll see such a thing for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith as well. It'd be kind of great to have. Maybe they get around to like Force Awakens and that too. I wouldn't mind that. Although we'll see. Hasbro definitely seems to be steering clear of the sequel movies right now, much the way they steered clear of the prequels for quite a while. But these are really cool figures. I love the retro styles. And honestly, my favorite thing with retro figures is when we get figures we've never had. When they were doing more of the retros that were just reissues of figures that we had back in the day. To me, and this is to me, somebody who's in their 40s who bought these figures as a kid, it's like, nah, I already have that figure. In fact, a lot of those I'd buy carded, never buy a second one to open, because I already have the vintage figure. I don't need a reproduction of the vintage figure to go with it. But when we get new figures like these that were never produced, it makes me happy. I've loved what they did when they first did that with the Mando wave. To get brand new vintage style figures is cool. I really hope they do more OT stuff. Like we got that Tarkin, we got that Snowspeeder Luke, and then we got Mon Mothma. It'd be nice to get more of that, more figures that were never made. I'd like to see more of that. But for now, this is our Phantom Menace wave to go with the 25th anniversary just about to happen. And they're pretty cool. What do you guys think? Which one's your favorite? And what do you hope they do in retro in the future? Put it in the comments. Love to hear from you. Thanks a lot.